Senator Hoeven.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I guess my first question would be in regard to the infant formula situation. Now, Chairman Baldwin and I did send Dr. Califf a letter. We got that, I think, the day before yesterday, so kind of short for our staff, and they work hard and got a lot of things they have to do to get ready for these hearings. So if you could get responses sooner, it would certainly be considerate of them and their timeline as they try to get stuff ready.
I apologize for that. I wish it had gotten to you sooner. I did read the entire thing. It's number of pages, single space. And
Pretty long, yeah.
Went into it, but I know I have the same concern myself. If people do a perfect job and it gets to me before I have a chance to read it, when I have to do something, it's not very helpful. So we'll double down on
Yeah, that speech you get as you're walking on stage to give it is a little hard to review, So I know you get it, and I know you care about all the hardworking folks around here. They're trying to do good jobs. So that timeline would be helpful. But obviously, that's been a real concern. I mean, we can all imagine moms and dads, most of us having been moms and dads, in my case, grandparents, you as well, I think, sweating out trying to get that infant formula. And, the whole sequence of events from inspectors not inspecting that plant, then getting out and inspecting the plant, and then the amount of time between inspection of the plant, determination of the problem, and then leadership at FDA being made aware of it. Those are real concerns. I know in going through with our committee staff, they talked about when the saline bag, when they had the issues in Puerto Rico with some of the facilities down there, and there was an instantaneous effort to get after some of those medical equipment and needs and that kind of thing. I get that that's on the drug side, but something like baby formula, you're in that mode of having to have it, and in some ways almost like you would on the drug side. So how do we make certain on the food side that we've covered this, that we don't have it happen again? And then there are still shortages in the stores. Where are we there? How soon are we going to have it squared away so that we don't have the empty shelf problem?
Let's see, there was a lot included in your
Yeah, well, I warned you last night on the phone. That was going to be my question. So, not that you weren't thinking about it anyway. But
this is something we take so seriously for all the reasons that you gave. And I feel like I've been living with the folks you see here at the table pretty much since day one, since the recall occurred on the day I was confirmed. And, I stepped right into it. They have been working night and day. First of all, you raised the question of what are we doing to correct errors that may have been made. It's well known that Dr. Steve Solomon, who runs our Center for Veterinary Medicine, has a long history of knowledge of inspections and other parts of FDA, is doing an after-action review. That's moving along. The interviews have been completed, so I'm expecting a report soon on that. We're also doing the top-to-bottom review that we announced yesterday, and Dr. Solomon's review will be available as part of that. And they'll go through item by item, all the timeline and all the things that happen, and corrective action. For many of these things, like the escalation issue that you raise, we already have instituted policies. As a healthcare person, this is a very common issue in healthcare provision. Nurses, for example, if they see something wrong, escalating the issue. So I think we have already fixed that problem for the future. In terms of where we are things are getting better. I think that's pretty well known. The numbers are looking better. It's not going to be a sudden fix, but we have each of the manufacturers, both the incumbent manufacturers and also those that have now entered the market with enforcement discretion. We have their production estimates, and I'd say it's a very diversified, robust pipeline coming in. But there was a deficit that's going to take a while to fix. And there's one other issue which I think is important for people to understand, which is that when there is, in any commodity, when there's a shortage, as I've learned, I was not an expert in supply chain management in industry. when there's a shortage, people change what they make to make it so that there, for example, may be larger containers to optimize bringing forward the product for purchasing. So some of the things that people are used to seeing on the shelf may not be there, even if the total amount of formula is the same or higher than it was. The really good news, I think, is that production is exceeding buying by a significant amount now, and we expect that to continue. You may remember that there was a spike in purchasing when people became concerned. Understandably, families went out and stocked their pantries so in case there was a problem. But we've seen that now return to a normal level, even a little bit below normal level of purchasing. So that difference between what we're producing and what's being bought should be sustained now over the next few months. So I would just expect, like a plane taking off, I would expect to see a gradual improvement in the shelves.
Okay. Thank you. I guess I'll defer my additional questions now to the next round.